If your CSV looks fine everywhere except Excel, and names like Jose turn into Jose, you're not dealing with random glitches. You're seeing an encoding mismatch. Excel is reading your file using one character set, while the file was saved in another. That's why apostrophes become dashes become dash, and accented letters break in predictable patterns. The good news is you can fix it without changing the actual data. You just need to control how Excel imports the text. In the next minutes, you'll get a simple mental model of UTF-8 versus ANSI, why Excel guesses wrong, and a few reliable workflows that work on Windows and Mac. You'll also learn how to prevent the problem at the source so you don't have to clean up files every time. Once you understand the one key idea, bytes must match the decoding, you can solve almost every garbled character CSV issue in seconds. Next step. Let's make the problem concrete. A CSV is just plain text, stored as bytes. Those bytes only become letters after a program chooses an encoding to interpret them. UTF-8 is a modern encoding that can represent basically every character. ANSI in Excel usually means a local Windows code page, like Windows 1252, for Western European languages. If a file is UTF-8, but Excel interprets it as Windows 1252, multi-byte UTF-8 sequences get split into weird characters. That's how A becomes A. It's 2 bytes in UTF-8, but Excel reads each byte as its own Windows 1252 character. The same thing happens with curly quotes and apostrophes, so you see why. So the issue is not the CSV format itself, it's the decoding choice made at open or import time. Once you accept that, the fix becomes consistent. Either import with UTF-8 or save the file in the encoding Excel expects. Next step. Those garbled symbols are actually a helpful clue. When you see A, it usually means the file is UTF-8, but it was opened as Windows 1252 or a similar single-byte encoding. When you see dash, it often points to smart punctuation, like curly apostrophes encoded in UTF-8 and misread. If you see question marks or empty squares, that's different. That can mean the chosen encoding can't represent the character at all, so it gets replaced. Another clue is consistency. If every accented character is wrong in the same way, it's almost always a decoding mismatch, not corrupted data. Also, pay attention to where the file came from. Exports from web apps, databases, and APIs are commonly UTF-8. Older Windows desktop tools might output Windows 1252. So before you change anything, identify the likely source encoding. That helps you pick the fastest fix, and it prevents you from double converting and making the text worse. Next step. Now the big Excel trap. If you double-click a CSV, Excel often opens it using default settings, and those defaults depend on your system locale and Excel version. That means Excel may assume an ANSI code page instead of UTF-8. Even worse, once Excel opens it incorrectly, saving can bake the damage into a new file, because the wrong characters become the new truth. That's why a safe rule is, avoid opening problem CSVs by double-clicking. Instead, use an import path where you can explicitly choose the encoding. Excel's import tools are designed for exactly this. They let you say, this file is UTF-8, before Excel interprets the bytes. You'll also get control over delimiters, like comma versus semicolon, which often comes together with encoding issues in international setups. The core idea is simple. Don't let Excel guess. Next step. Here's the most reliable fix for most people. Import the CSV and set the encoding to UTF-8 during import. The exact menu names vary, but the concept is stable. You start an import from a text or CSV source. Then you select the file. Before loading, you set file origin or encoding to UTF-8. After that, you confirm the delimiter and preview the data. If the preview shows Jose correctly, you're done. Load it into a sheet or into a table. This approach is safer than opening because it prevents Excel from misreading the bytes in the first place. It also avoids the save and corrupt cycle. If you work with the same file type repeatedly, you can often reuse the import settings. That turns a frustrating cleanup into a repeatable workflow. If the preview still looks wrong even with UTF-8, that's a signal the file may not be UTF-8. Then we switch strategies and detect the real encoding. Next step. Sometimes you don't have UTF-8 problems. You have the opposite. The file might be Windows 1252, but Excel or another tool is treating it as UTF-8. In that case, Accented letters may turn into replacement symbols, or you may see odd sequences that don't match the classic A pattern. So how do you tell? One practical method is to open the CSV in a text editor that can display the current encoding and let you switch it. If switching between UTF-8 and Windows 1252 makes the text snap into place, you've found the correct encoding. Another method is to check the exporting system's documentation. Many databases and web exports are explicitly UTF-8. Older ERP exports might be ANSI. The key is, don't convert blindly. Identify the source encoding first, then choose either import with that encoding or convert the file once into UTF-8 for long-term stability. Next step. If you need a file that opens cleanly by double-click for other people, converting the CSV can be the best path. A common trick is adding a UTF-8 BOM, which is a short byte marker at the start of the file. Some versions of Excel detect UTF-8 more reliably when the BOM is present. Many editors can save as UTF-8 with BOM. The trade-off is that some strict systems don't like BOM in CSVs, especially if the CSV is consumed by older parsers. So use it when the target is humans opening in Excel, not when the target is an automated pipeline that expects pure UTF-8 without BOM. Another conversion option is saving as plain Windows 1252, but that can lose characters outside that code page, like Cyrillic or certain symbols. So for international data, UTF-8 is the safer long-term standard. Next step. Let's talk about the two characters people complain about most, apostrophes and quotes. If you see "oh," that's usually a curly apostrophe, not the plain straight quote. Many systems output smart punctuation, especially when text comes from word processors or rich text fields. Excel can handle these characters fine, if the encoding is read correctly. But if you're forced to use an older encoding like Windows 1252, curly quotes may or may not survive, depending on the exact code page. A practical prevention step is normalizing punctuation at the source. Replace curly quotes with straight quotes before export, or store text in a system that consistently uses UTF-8. Another prevention step is to avoid smart quotes features in tools that feed your CSV. This isn't about aesthetics. It's about predictable data exchange. Clean, plain punctuation reduces the chance of encoding surprises across different environments. Next step. Encoding issues often travel with delimiter issues. In many regions, Excel expects semicolons as separators because commas are used as decimal separators. So you might fix encoding, but the columns still don't split correctly. Treat these as two separate settings. Encoding controls characters, delimiter controls columns. During import, choose UTF-8 for encoding, and then pick the correct delimiter, comma, semicolon, tab, or pipe. Also watch out for quoted fields. A CSV can contain commas inside a field if the field is wrapped in double quotes. If an exporter doesn't quote properly, Excel will missplit columns and it can look like an encoding problem. So when the data looks shifted, don't immediately blame UTF-8. Verify the delimiter and quoting rules first. Once you lock down both settings, your import becomes repeatable and boring, which is exactly what you want for data work. Next step. A big hidden risk is fixing text after it's already wrong. If Excel shows Jose and you copy that into another system, you're spreading the misdecoded text. The same happens if you save the workbook back to CSV using the wrong encoding. So the safest workflow is to keep an untouched original CSV file, then create a corrected version through a controlled import or a one-time conversion. If you must export back out of Excel, choose an export format that preserves Unicode reliably. Some Excel export options are better than others, depending on platform. If CSV is required, test the exported file by opening it in a neutral tool like a code editor. Confirm that the bytes and characters match. This sounds cautious, but it saves hours later. Encoding problems are easiest to solve at the boundary, right when data enters or leaves Excel, not after it has been edited and resaved multiple times. Next step. If you want to prevent this permanently, start where the CSV is produced. If you control the export, set it to UTF-8 explicitly. Many systems have an encoding option hidden in advanced export settings. If you generate CSVs with scripts, choose UTF-8 output and be consistent. Also consider adding the UTF-8 BOM only if your audience is primarily Excel users who open files directly. If your CSV is consumed by multiple tools, document the expected encoding and delimiter in the file name or in a short README. Another strong option is to switch the exchange format. If you can use XLSX instead of CSV, you avoid most encoding ambiguity because the format stores text as Unicode, or use TSV if commas cause issues. CSV is simple, but it's also underspecified in practice. Clear standards on your team. UTF-8, consistent delimiter, consistent quoting, eliminate most recurring problems. Next step. Let's do a quick troubleshooting checklist you can run in under a minute. First, identify the pattern. O sequences usually mean UTF-8 misread as ANSI. Second, stop opening by double-click and use an import path with an encoding selector. Third, test UTF-8 and see if the preview fixes it. Fourth, if UTF-8 doesn't fix it, try Windows 1252 or the relevant local code page in a text editor to confirm what the file really is. Fifth, once correct, decide between two stable outcomes. Keep the file as UTF-8 and always import, or convert the file to a version Excel opens cleanly for your audience, possibly with BOM. Finally, validate by checking a few known tricky characters, accented letters, curly quotes, and long dashes. This checklist keeps you out of random trial and error. You're just matching bytes to the right decoding, then locking in a repeatable workflow. Next step. One last nuance. ANSI isn't a single encoding. It's a label Excel uses for whatever your system code page is. That means a CSV that works on one computer can break on another, even in the same company. UTF-8 avoids that because it's consistent everywhere. So if you're sharing CSVs across teams or clients, UTF-8 is the safest default. Just make sure the receiving workflow imports it correctly, or consider adding BOM for Excel-heavy audiences. If you're building a process, aim for two rules: store and exchange text in UTF-8, and use controlled imports rather than guessing. That's the long-term fix. If you want, I can also help you map the exact menu clicks for your Excel version and operating system, but the underlying logic won't change. Before you go, pick one. Do you prefer the always import UTF-8 workflow or the convert once for Excel workflow? Leave A or B in the comments. And if you want more practical Excel data cleanup guides, subscribe. Subscribe to keep optimizing your workflow and get back more of your time.